Good morning. Hope you had a great evening or a good night's sleep anyway. Anyway, I was yesterday we talked about kind of updated you guys a little bit and kind of got you caught up with a little bit of what's going on with me and stuff. And I couldn't help but think about the changes my friends made and some of the things that have happened in my life and some of the changes that I've had to make. And you know, sometimes life happens so fast and hits us so hard that we don't think we can make those changes, and sometimes we feel a little paralyzed. We feel like a little overwhelmed to the point that maybe I should just lay down, let it happen, whatever. But is that what you should do? Well, the reality of it is we all know that you can't do that. You have to do something. So sometimes just little incremental changes, little things that you do make all the difference. I'll give you for instance, I was talking with this friend of mine and I asked him if it was okay to share this with you, and he said it was. There was a point in his alcoholism where he was drinking one of these every 2 days. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? I mean, I don't know how many shots are in there, but one of the only times I've been drunk twice in my life, and the one time I was an adult, and I drank 7 shots, about 7 shots, maybe 8, and I was sicker than a dog the next day, and I couldn't help but think to myself, man, why do people do this? This is like giving yourself the flu. You know, I think I want to have the flu tomorrow. I'll have fun tonight. Tomorrow I'll have the flu. Nobody would do that, but we rationalize that way sometimes. Anyway, I remember drinking all that, and I remember what it made me feel like. I can't imagine doing this every 2 days. I can't imagine that. So what did he do? You know, he was overwhelmed. He felt like, man, I got to have that. I can't quit. I'm not going to quit, whatever. But what we started doing is weaning him off slowly. And I when I say we, I just encouraged him. You can't make a grown man do what they don't want to do. And there was points cash-wise where we really didn't have the money to be doing that business. And there was points cash-wise where we didn't have the money to do it, and he still bought the stuff. I can remember one time we were needing gas money. We were needing to get stuff done for a big job that we had, and I put everything I had into this big job. And he comes home with 2 bottles of these and tonic water and whatever else and expensive stuff. And I'm thinking, seriously, that's what's important? But sometimes life can be that way. We look at things that we think are important and they're really not. We need to get them out of our lives. Anyway, that's what he did, and he slowly started weaning himself off. Every now and then we'd go a day where he'd maybe have a beer or maybe 2 beers, and I kept it in the fridge because I wanted him to have access to it, because I knew that him coming off it could be really bad. I mean, it could be shock his system if he came off too hard, too fast. And I knew I wasn't medically trained to deal with it. I know I don't have the stuff that you need. So we kind of just milked him off it. And then slowly but surely, he cut down, you know. Then he started having maybe, he'd grab a mug like this, and he'd fill it maybe up to there with his gin or whatever, and then the rest tonic water. And he'd milk that all day, and in the hot sun. So he was sweating it out. I mean, and when I say hot sun, I'm not talking Wyoming, Colorado, Nebraska sun. I'm talking Texas sun, like the surface of the sun, hot. And you just sweat like crazy. You just sweat it out. So whatever you're drinking, it's just gone. Immediately evaporates. So that helped him. And then the one day came when he just decided, I'm done, not doing this anymore. But I remember asking him, hey man, don't you think you need to start quitting that? Don't you think you just go cold turkey and just be done? He said, no, I can't do it. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do that. I said, okay. And then we kind of weaned him 1 week off things. And I remember asking him, so how you feeling? Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And then that's when he bought the 2 bottles. Man, I was devastated. I'm like, man, we're finally there. But his brain wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. Life can be that way to us, where it kicks our butt to the point where we're not ready to fight back. We're not ready to say, I'm done here. I'm not taking this anymore. I'm going to hit you back. You have to be ready. You have to build yourself mentally. So I would throw things at him. I would slowly but surely just keep hitting him with little things. And finally the one day he said, I'm done. I'm done. I had my last drink at 10 o'clock tonight. And I was like, really? You sure you're ready for this? And I didn't know if I was ready for it. Because there was a point where he had quit He went through the detox and stuff, and they had to take him to the hospital. They had to put him like in a straitjacket and tie him down to a gurney, and he was attacking hospital staff. And this man is bigger than me by a good little ways. And I'm sitting there thinking, okay. He said, so he kind of warned me, I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I don't know how sick I'm going to get. I don't know how I'm going to behave. So be ready. I said, all right, I'll be ready. I'll watch you. I'll check on you. The night went through. I slept like a baby. He slept. Not real well, but he slept. Checked on him the next morning. He was okay. He said he had the DTs a little bit of the shakes, but they pretty much were gone. But he still wasn't sure what was going to happen. The next day, he kind of thought they were going to come back, like he was going to have that craving real strong. He really didn't. We got him some tonic water and some ice and kind of milked that, kind of gave him that feeling a little bit, and he was okay. He was fine. You know, and sometimes our bills can be like that. Our bills in our lives are when you're going through a divorce, when you're going through a bad breakup, your kids are misbehaving, whatever. It can be overwhelming where you think, I cannot do this. I can't take care of this situation. But if you do it in little pieces, little bitty pieces, a little bit at a time, you can start getting caught up. You can start getting yourself in a place where you can handle it. And it doesn't seem like it's going to have a big effect. You're just chipping away. But all of a sudden, bang! It's kind of like in my business, in the fence business. You get little jobs here and there, and they get gas in your pocket. You know, they keep the lights on sometimes. And then you get that one big job, and boom! It kind of gets you back on your feet a little bit. Then the next step is getting 2 or 3 big jobs. That's kind of where I'm at now. I just need to get a few of them built up. I need to get my people in gear, get them lined up. I need to get myself in gear, get myself lined up. But I don't give up. You don't give up. You keep making those incremental changes, those little things that make all the difference. You go from this to this to eventually where you can handle the situation, where you can take it to another level. But you do not ever give up. You never, ever, ever give up. So sometimes when you feel like you're overwhelmed, don't just throw it in the towel. Don't let somebody else handle your business. You handle your business. You take care of it. And do it in little steps. Do it in little steps if you have to. It doesn't have to be some giant thing. You don't have to have some big old thing come in and save your life or whatever. You can do it yourself in little steps. But if you don't start somewhere, you never get on your feet. You'll never get moving. And believe me, if anybody knows what being overwhelmed is like, I know what being overwhelmed is like. I mean, I went from owning 10 acres of property to being on the street, literally on the street in an alley, getting to the point where I was almost going to be looking in garbage cans for food. And that's no joke, because you get hungry because there's nothing there. I went from having 10 vehicles to nothing. All my tools, all my equipment, gone. Just, that's it. I had people breathing down my neck. I still have people breathing down my neck to get things done that I cannot do because I don't have the equipment yet. I will get it. I'll get the equipment. I'll get the stuff I need slowly but surely. But I don't give up. Do I let them keep hammering? Yeah, I can't stop them. I can't make them calm down. You can't. Some things you cannot affect, but you can slowly but surely if you start. It's just like a fighter in a boxing match. He's throwing that jab out there. Bap, 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 bap. The jab doesn't seem like a punch that's very devastating, but you eat it over 10 rounds and you just keep getting hit. Eventually, holy mackerel, the next punch that comes, it's going to drop you. It's the same thing for us. Keep pumping that jab. Keep throwing it out there. Keep hitting it. Don't give up. Don't give up. Because your time's coming. Your big punch is coming. But it's not going to come if you don't start. If you go in the toilet, it's never going to happen. Anyway, with that, probably went a little long-winded today, but that's important to me, that you do not give up. Don't ever give up. Nothing good is easy. Nothing easy is good. If it's worth having, it's worth working hard for. Even if everybody else or every other thing thinks that it's impossible, don't you look at it that way. Anyway, with that, you have a great day, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.